Good day and welcome to PCC News with Handsome Craig and Jolly Molly.
Lego manufacturers have just introduced new and improved interlocking plastic bricks that will instantly tase your foot when you step on them. Including new sharper edges, the new tasing features will immediately shut your body down so you don't have to roll around on the ground in excruciating pain for minutes on end.
Utilizing advanced electricity techniques, Lego factories can now wire the edges of the famously sharp and painful bricks to 50,000 volts so that the human nervous system basically shuts down upon coming into contact with them.
Lego engineers have been hard at work trying to come up with ways to make an even deadlier brick, and they finally made a breakthrough. Lego head of design Riley Hawk said, "This is the most promising advancement we've made in our brick design since we first introduced the bricks that make it feel like your foot stepped on broken glass many decades ago."
Handsome, I think they should have called the breakthrough a brick-through. Ha ha. Get it? All right. In other news, a new law passed by Congress and signed into law by President Trump Thursday approves a plan to push Hollywood into the Pacific Ocean.
This new law calls for federal officials to build or acquire a giant handsaw and make a rough incision along the outside of the Central District of Los Angeles. This leaves a large enough buffer as to be sure that none of Hollywood would remain. This allows the scandal-ridden Tinseltown and its occupants to simply drift out to sea.
The plan comes amidst a continuous string of scandals and crimes that have come to light, perpetrated by some of the biggest Hollywood stars. The move was applauded by the majority of the nation, though some celebrities in New York voiced concern about the safety of their own city.
Food companies have issued dire warnings about the state of the nation's food supply, suggesting there could be significant disruptions and shortages coming thanks to COVID-19 related closures. But Chick-fil-A has come to the rescue once again, feeding nearly all of Maple Grove yesterday with just 5 chicken sandwiches and 2 orders of waffle fries. Miraculously, there was enough to feed everyone in the city and 12 million meals left over.
That's incredible. Some churches across the nation have begun reopening. Handsome, did you know that?
I did.
Oh, I did not. But pastors are running into a problem as many parishioners are forgetting to put on pants. Oh dear. Having grown accustomed to attending church on their couch in their underwear only, Christians are having trouble adjusting to the old way of doing church.
It's hard to remember what it was like when you had to put on clothes, said PCC shepherd Kyle Olson. We've just gotten used to rolling on a bed, plopping down on the couch, and turning on the service 10 minutes late. Now they expect others to adjust back to wearing clothes and brushing their teeth and stuff. I'm not saying it's impossible, Olson said. It's just going to take baby steps.
15-year-old Daniel Klein has declared his home a sanctuary city for mosquitoes, moths, houseflies, and other insects in need of shelter. At approximately 2:00 p.m. on a hot Sunday afternoon, Daniel left the front door ajar for nearly 3 hours, sending the scent of air-conditioned air out into the neighborhood to get local insects to let can you help me out here?
He's letting lickle insects, apparently.
Lickle. I thought you said that accidentally. You were mocking me. Daniel left the front door ajar for nearly 3 hours, sending the scent of air-conditioned air out into the neighborhood to let local insects. There you go, handsome. Let local insects, let local insects, let local insects, let local insects, let local insects. I'm ready for the next time.
Moving on.
Just practicing. To let local insects know that the Klein home was now a safe place for transient insects to find sanctuary.
Daniel's evil parents tried to close the border against the helpless bugs, but he just wandered back through the door and left it open 17 more times that day.
Oh dear. As the coronavirus lockdowns continue, all salons have been forced to do the unthinkable and close their doors. Women throughout the nation have gone from concern to panic, wondering when they will be able to return to the salons.
In their desperation, women are now willing to get their hair cut by any means necessary, even if it means breaking the law. I've never committed a crime in my life, said Mindy Reed, but not being able to get a root touch-up or a cut and color is absolute madness.
Reed is one of the many women in the metro area.
Are you cleaning the paper towels?
It just seemed like the right thing to do.
It smells.
Actually, I was sampling between the two, and I like this one. Could we try?
Okay.
Reed is one of the many women in the metro area that feels it's a little potent up here. She is one of the many women in the metro area that feels this way, left with no choice but to break quarantine in search of a hairstylist. Oh, I feel her pain, handsome. But I think I've been doing pretty good myself.
I think your hair looks great.
Thank you. Been switching it up a bit. She broke quarantine in search of...
Time to get back to Wendy's and make those delicious, famous hamburgers of yours.
That's funny, handsome. All right.
Back to Reed.
So Reed is one of the many women in the metro area that feels this way, left with no choice but to break quarantine in search of a hairstylist. That's when she discovered back alley stylists. Despite the dingy setup in a dark back alley, many are able to look past the filth if it means getting their hair done.
Back Alley Stylist offers a seat on a garbage can and covers individuals with a scented trash bag. When individuals get home, many experience episodes of lightheadedness and fainting. However, the extended quarantine might just give individuals enough time for their botched haircuts to grow back.
You know, handsome, I'm feeling a little lightheaded right now.
I don't blame you.
The angels in heaven watched with awestruck wonder as Greg Speck filled the pulpit at Temple Baptist Church on Sunday in Rockford, Illinois. The church, of course, consisted of a single camera in the middle aisle streaming to millions of viewers worldwide.
Speck spoke with fire, fury, and theological clarity unlike anything he had ever unleashed on the virtual congregation before. He knew in his heart that this sermon would mark a turning point in church history. Even the Holy Spirit hovered there, clearly impressed.
Powerful. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Just after Speck spoke the pitch-perfect final lines of his sermon, he walked back to the soundboard. Where did that go?
Into the atmosphere.
It was aimed towards me.
It went straight up into the atmosphere.
Speck walked back to the soundboard, physically, emotionally, and spiritually drained, only to realize that he had been muted for the near 2-hour sermon of revival waiting to happen. Oh.
Speck then collapsed pitifully on the floor in despair. He tore his clothes and mourned with perfect biblical accuracy. "Oh, wretched man that I am," he wept. "My tears will be my food day and night."
After spending 144 minutes on the floor, the dejected communicator looked up and he knew everything was going to be okay. Oh, this is a special moment, handsome. The Holy Spirit assured Greg Speck that the sermon has been backed up on a celestial recording device and will be used in Speck's highlight reel when he gets to heaven. That's wonderful. For anyone excited to hear the greatest sermon ever preached, which I am, we will have to wait until the next life to experience it for ourselves.
Democracy has been saved as Chick-fil-A agrees to run drive-through polling places in November.
Oh, that's right, handsome. Many have been worried that the November election will be compromised due to shutdowns, lockdowns, and social distancing as it continues. People won't be able to vote in person. Some have suggested voting by mail or via the internet, but these ideas seem terrible to other smarter people.
Democracy seems to have been saved at the last moment as Chick-fil-A has been contracted to run all polling places this November with the company's efficient drive-through system. By some estimates, everyone in the country could vote within about a half an hour with the lightning-fast process of Chick-fil-A voting. Best of all, Chick-fil-A employees will be trained to spot voter fraud, non-citizens trying to vote, and people trying to get their dead relatives to vote in one of those weekend at Bernie's situations.
In other news, a fascinating new study released today from a very reliable source confirmed that all your opinions are correct. There are no flaws in your worldview, beliefs, or hot takes. Hot takes? Did I read that right?
Not to be confused with hot cakes.
Oh, I was thinking it meant outtakes, but hot takes.
Hot takes.
And that everything you say is more or less absolutely correct.
The study researched everything that you believe and found that it is true. All of it. From your opinions on religion to your takes on politics. The extremely reputable study found that you are 100% correct, both in your high-level assertions and in all the supporting details of your claims.
Based on this new information, we definitely recommend never examining your beliefs to see if there are weaknesses, never challenging your own assumptions to see if they hold water, and never adjusting your thinking to align with truth.
We also recommend not doubting this study itself. Don't share its results immediately so you can show everyone on your social media feeds that you are indeed right. The study also researched everything you disagree with and found that it is deeply flawed, inherently opposed to logic and to reason, and totally destructive to human progress. The only logical conclusion, therefore, is to hate people who disagree with you and maybe punch them.
I'm sorry, I really have a headache.
I know, it's the Lysol. It hurts.
So, we here at PCC News take the Bible very seriously, but do not take ourselves or these cleaning supplies seriously. We will not use them in the excess that we did this time.
We should have taken these seriously.
We should have taken them seriously because
It hurts my brain, and I can feel my nose hairs. We would like to thank the Babylon Bee for their many story contributions and inspiration for this week's broadcast.
it really hurts, Handsome. I'm not kidding.
On behalf of Jolly and myself, Handsome, remember that there is a time and season for everything, and we believe the season for love. Did I interrupt?
I'm sorry.
No,
I was
you
going to
finish my
interject.
line. Go ahead.
It says that I should say this, but I appreciate that you took over in my weakness and delusion.
For laughter has never been more important as now. Good day.
Oh, is that me?